Samantha from Maritime Motion Supply, and today we're going to go over how to fit the non-stop free motion harness. So we're going to start with how to measure your dog using the non-stop size chart. So we're just going to get a measuring tape like so, and get a measurement of the base of the dog's neck. The cat. So, for the free motion harness, I find you have to take the neck measurement fairly tight, just because you want it to fit fairly snugly in the neck. So for Willow here, that measures at 40 centimeters. So if you look on the size chart, that puts her at right between a size 5 and a size 6. So we will start with a size 6. So it just goes right over the head like so. And each paw goes through the leg loops. Good girl. So make sure that the collar clears the harness. And you're going to get the Velcro piece in the back. Put that together like so. So you don't want it so tight that it buckles everything in. You just want it to keep these big side straps laying flat to the body. So from there you have these side straps here. You want to make sure that they are firm but not too tight. So those are adjusted properly for her there. And then we have the back end here. And you want this so where the two pieces of mesh gather and the blue loop starts, that's just what the base of the tail when she's pulling. Willow, it's a pretty good fit here. So it fits her right along the neck. And her breastbone is just below where all three straps gather. Clears the shoulders fairly well. And we should be able to fit 2 fingers in the neck. I can do that, so it's a fairly good fit. I can actually fit about my whole hand underneath, so it is just a little bit big. So that's a size 6 harness, and again she measured 40 centimeters, and that means she can fit into either size 5 or size 6. So we're going to try the size 5 on next. Alright, so again with the size 5, just take that Velcro piece off, so you have a little more room to work. And I like to make them a butterfly. So just put these straps up so she can move her shoulders to get the harness on. Again, we're going to go right over the head. See, this one fits a little more snug. And we're going to pull the leash through. I'm going to have her give me each paw. Nope. Give me paw. Girl. And give me your foot. Good job. She's done this a million times, so she just steps into it herself. Come on closer. Good girl. I'm just going to pull this nice and tight, and we'll see how the size 5 fits. Again, just have that Velcro piece, keep everything flat. You see lots of slack on the sides, so we're just going to tighten those up. Now the back of this harness is just a little bit long and the straps aren't even, so to loosen those. You're just going to make sure you beat them back through just so the straps don't come out. And we're going to come look at the neck. So you'll see actually when she's standing that this buckles up a bit. So that means these are just a little bit too tight. Just release the pressure. There, so that's better. What do you think? So the main difference between the size 5 and the size 6 for her is the neck. Good girl. So you'll see here that it's just even more snug right around her neck. And that's what we want. So with the free motion harness, a lot of people find that the harness will actually just stretch out a little bit as you use it. So it's actually good if it's just a little bit too snug on the dog, because it will kind of form and stretch right in the right places and it'll give a perfect fit. So between the size 5 and the size 6 harness, I would put Willow in a size 5, just because if the size 6 harness were to stretch a little bit, it would be putting a little too much pressure onto her shoulders. Now if she were to get a little chubby, the size 5 wouldn't fit, just because it is a perfect fit right now. So yes, as she stands, size 5 is best for her. Alright, so you see here, I can fit my 2 fingers in the neck. Again, this is size 5, and it fits snugly around the neck, but it's not going up into the soft part of her throat. Breastbone lays right where all these straps connect, and this is a perfect fit. So the non-stop free motion harness is absolutely perfect for any dog-powered pulling sports. So if you're doing something like canicross, ski joring, or bike joring, this is a great harness. I find it fits just about every type of dog, as long as the dog is at a healthy weight. Typically, if you have an overweight or obese dog, it's extremely difficult to find any harness that will fit. So it's very important that your dog is at a healthy weight. But I love this harness because it is adjustable, so if your dog has just a little more growing room, typically the chest will drop between a year and a half. These side straps here will help so you don't have to buy an entire new harness. As well, if your dog is one that grows a coat and that gets shaved down in the summertime, that will help with that as well. So I do put a lot of doodles and poodles into the free motion harness for that reason. This harness is meant for strong pulling dogs. So if you have a very strong pulling dog, I would recommend this one. If your dog prefers to run beside you or will just periodically run in front but mostly to the side, I would say go for something more like the non-stop line harness, just because you're going to have a little more control over the dog. And if your dog goes to the side or behind you while wearing this harness, it gets very uncomfortable very fast. So you see, she did not like that. So a line harness would be more comfortable for that reason. If you're not too sure if your dog is going to pull or not, maybe start with a line harness, see if they are more so inclined to pulling or running beside you. But if you know your dog's going to be a puller, something like this is a great option. So why I prefer this harness for sports such as canicross, bike joring, and ski joring over a typical X-Pac harness is because these harnesses are meant for high point activities. So by that I mean the gang line is at a higher angle because you're canicross, bike joring, versus when you're on a sled and that's actually even to the dog's back. So if you're doing sledding, bike joring, canicross, etc., great harness. If you have an X-Pac on your dog and you're sledding, perfect. If you have an X-Pac on your dog and you're doing canicross, not ideal. That's just because if you have a high pulling point on your dog, and if you have a dog that's a little smaller, that'll actually put pressure up on the shoulders here. So when you pull up on the free motion harness, you don't get any downward pressure on the shoulder blades. But if you pull up with an X-Pac harness, that will put pressure on the shoulder blades, and it doesn't allow the dog to run and be as comfortable as they can be. So again, I always recommend if you're doing canicross, ski joring, etc., just make sure that you have a harness that is designed for that sport, because it's very often that you see dogs with very sore necks or sore shoulders, and they can get stiffness if you are running in an X-Pac. So again, that's why I love this harness. It's adjustable, multifunction, and it's just great quality. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in another video.